Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sunshine Zee and I welcome you, especially if it's your first time here. You are welcome and do consider subscribing to this channel. And if you are a subscriber, as always, you are the real ones and I appreciate you. Last week's video I spoke about how you need to get your finances in order this year, and I'm not even doing this video because it's a new year and you know you should take care of your finances just because it's a new year. No, I'm just doing this video because I've noticed that people miss just the basic steps of getting your finances in order. Please do note that I am not a registered financial advisor, nor am I a financial advisor by any means. However, I'm just going to share 3 key points that I think might assist you in getting your finances in order in the year 2022. And yeah, let's get into today's video. So you might be wondering, Zee, how do I get my finances in order? The first thing that the reason actually I decided to do this video is that I feel a lot of people miss the basics. And what I mean by that is that I find that people want to invest, people want to save, people want to do all sorts of things because all people are trying to do is to get rich quick, right? And I'm so sorry to tell you that's not what this video is about. So today I'm not going to give you tips on how to get rich quick because I don't know, child. If I knew, I wouldn't be here, okay? I'm kidding, but if I knew how to get rich quick, I'd probably keep it to myself. So be wary of those people who keep telling you I can tell you how to get rich quick. You know, you need to ask yourself, why aren't you using it for yourself, Mr. Forex trader or whatever? And I think actually, to be honest, there's a lot of misconception around a lot of things just because it didn't quite work out for certain people. People think that, you know, investing in certain things is not good and investing in other kinds of things is better. And you know what I find very interesting about all of this is that the majority of the people that I've seen argue and debate about these things have not done their proper research. So I think that's the number one thing that I would advise you to do before getting into any of those kinds of investments or, you know, buying of shares or whatever it is. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those things. You just need to know what it is that you're doing. You need to know how it works. You need to invest time in reading up on those things, researching those things, understanding exactly what those things are about. One of my pet peeves is seeing people, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to ask for advice or recommendations, but people are like, guys, I've got 10,000 rands, which property must I invest into? Really? You're gonna ask a bunch of random strangers from the internet what you should do with your money? I don't think that's safe. Rather speak to a registered financial advisor or somebody that you trust who already has invested. So if somebody is telling you about investments and how property is good but they don't have property investments, then don't listen to them, okay? You cannot listen to somebody who's not in that area. So be wary of, I spoke about this in last week's video, who's speaking to you? Who are you getting advice from? What qualifies them? What do they know about that subject matter? Okay, and as I mentioned myself, I don't know much about the subject matter, but I am passionate about, you know, sharing whatever little knowledge I have, and I'm really passionate about finances and, you know, just simple things that people can do in order to get them in order. I didn't say to make you rich, just to get your finances in order. So let's get into it. So anyways, quick story that relates to what I'm about to talk about in my 3 points. It's something that my little nephew does. So he's 2, about to turn 3 soon. And what he does, I don't know why he does it. He's dramatic sometimes. And what he does is that sometimes when you call him and he doesn't want to speak to you or, you know, play with you or whatever, he'll simply close his eyes. Like, he'll just go, you know. And what I find funny about that is that in his child mind, he somehow thinks that by him closing his eyes and not acknowledging you, you are not there, right? And I find it very odd, because it's like, whether you close your eyes or not, I'm still here. And, you know, I make my presence known by calling him again. And that's when he starts reprimanding him not to call him. Okay, so I think that's what a lot of people do when it comes to their finances. They are like my nephew. They do not want to know what's happening. They basically have their eyes closed. And somehow, as adults, because I assume I'm speaking to adults, as adults, you think that by you not knowing your financial situation, it's okay. If you don't acknowledge it, then it doesn't exist. But unfortunately, it does exist, and you need to know it. So that's the first point that I'm going to speak about, is the fact that you need to know where you are. So you need to acknowledge your finances. And if you haven't done so, this video is the call to action that you needed in order to acknowledge your financial positioning. And by this, I don't mean knowing how much you make, because I know a lot of people know how much is coming in. However, a lot of people do not know what is happening in their finances. They don't know whether they are able to manage. And this is where, for example, when people go and get a car, or they want to invest in something, or whatever the case might be, they do that haphazardly, because they don't know where they stand. So they think, I can afford that car, or I can afford to save. Some people actually cannot even afford to save. Now you might be thinking, but wait a minute, isn't saving for everyone? No. Don't get FOMO when you see people saving and showing off how much they've saved. I mean, I saw a lot of people who saved a lot of money in December. I had FOMO as well. But how are you saving when you don't even know where you are? And by you knowing where you are, this is what I mean. You need to know, I'm not going to have enough space, but you need to know what is incoming. Not just that, but what is outgoing, and most importantly, what is remaining. I know you probably can't see this, but this is something that you need to start acknowledging. You need to start knowing what is coming in, what is going out, and what is remaining. If you don't do this, then you're not going to get your finances in order. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a finance guru. I'm not, anything like I said. But this much I know. Without knowing these, you're not going to get your finances in order. And how do you do exactly this? It's what I spoke about last week, which is my second point. And that is to account. I spoke about how you need to write things down last week, and account is exactly that. You need to have something that says, okay, this is how much I plan to spend on my groceries this month. And as I said in my previous video where I spoke about finances, you need to have actuals as well. So you need to say, okay, I thought I was going to spend 100 rands, but I ended up spending 200 rands, which means next month I need to budget 200 rands for my groceries. Okay, so number one, acknowledge where you are. Where are you? What are your finances? And maybe they're looking really bad. And I know a lot of people who know in their minds that their finances are looking really bad, but they, like my nephew, they'd rather just not actually see it. They don't even want to write it down because they know how bad the situation is. But you're never going to get your finances in order if you do not do these two things, which is acknowledging where you are and accounting. And here, as I said, it's mostly about writing things down, budgeting, putting in the actuals, knowing how much debt you have. I'll give an example. If you have 1,000 coming in and you have 800 going out, you are remaining with 200. Only from the 200 can you start saving, or can you start investing. As I said, all these things are great and well. However, if you don't know this, so don't run to watching these videos. I mean, I watch those videos myself. They're amazing. People are telling you how you can make money. Get the basics right first, okay? So if you don't have this right, then you have no business watching those videos about how to make money. And another pro tip that I actually want you to take note of is when people say to you, oh, you're gonna make money from this, always ask how much. So somebody says, yo, bardi shares diaberek. How much am I going to make from them? Because I think a lot of people come into something thinking that they're going to be millionaires the following month, and you find that it's only yielding them 5%. And I say only as if it's a bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing, but I'm saying compared to where they thought they'd be. So sometimes people put in 500 hoping that it will double to 1,000, only to find out, no, it's only going to be 50 rands, or it's only going to be 100 rands, something of that sort. So always ask yourself, how much? Hey, property in a mali. Malini, what do you mean? And one thing that a lot of people miss, especially in those videos, what I've seen in those videos, is that the people do tell you most of these investment things take time. They take time, so it's not an overnight thing. And I think that's what people miss, and that's why people end up saying it's a scam, or it doesn't work. It's because you didn't even ask to begin with. You didn't ask, how much am I how much should I expect to make from this? Okay, so now I don't have any more space, but I want to just touch on the third point. And the third point is, okay, let me try and make some space here. Okay, so I tried to quickly fix it up. So the last point over there, as you can see, is yes, you can. So no matter how bad it might seem over there, so once you start acknowledging that, listen, I feel like I have a problem, I don't know what's happening in my finances, and then you realize that they're so bad, because what you're going to do after that is that you're going to account. So you're going to write down things and know what's coming in, what's going out, what's remaining. And the reason I'm not using technical terms is because I know a lot of people think, I didn't study accounting, or I'm not a finance person, but I'm literally putting them in layman's terms so that you can understand that you can get your finances in order without even consulting with anyone. If you do some of the things that I suggested today, yes, you can get those finances in order. You can start saving at some point once you've gotten all your as they say, your ducks in a row. So I think I might have mentioned that there's I feel like three types of people who might be watching this. There's those who have no idea what their finances are looking like, and you really need to implement this. And there's those who do know what their finances are looking like, but they've got a lot of debt to pay off. Perhaps they have 1,000 coming in, but 1.3 in terms of what's going out. So they are 300 rands, in debt basically, and you might ask yourself, how do I get out of this? And really the simplest way to get out of it, and trust me, I think this is the best way to get out of it, is simply to get out of it. I know you're probably looking for some amazing answer, tricks and tips, but literally it is to pay it off bit by bit. I've been there. I know what it's like. And sometimes you look at it and it's going to take 18 months to pay it off. But that's the only way to pay it off. If you don't start paying it off now, then you're just going to be in a worse off situation by the time the year ends, or in 18 months time you're going to be in a worse off situation. So the only way to get yourself out of that situation is to start paying it off bit by bit. Do what you can manage, and for you and the other person who also doesn't know what's happening in their finances, those two types of people, don't even think about investing, don't even think about saving. Well, think about saving in terms of, maybe there's certain things that you can cut down on and things like that. So that's the kind of saving you must be doing. But you can't be taking 100 rands and saving it, yet you are 300 rands in debt every month. It doesn't make sense, right? I know everybody's like, no, you should be putting away money, for emergencies or whatever. Don't even think about money for emergencies if you're in debt, or if you are the first type of person who has no idea what's happening with their finances. Don't even think about these things. You only start thinking about these things once you have your finances in order. The third type of person who's watching this has their finances in order. Everything is set out. Every month they have their budget. They have an excess remaining at the end of the month. Perhaps they have 500 rands remaining. That person can start looking into, how do I save? How do I invest? And sometimes you don't even have to do all these amazing things, such as investing in, they're great and all of that, but sometimes you need to live, right? So if there's 500 remaining, maybe 200 you can save, but 300, go get yourself something nice, travel, save that money maybe towards a travel fund or something like that. But you're doing well, and don't stop doing that. So if you're the type of person who's got your finances in order, then you can start looking at investment opportunities. Start, here on YouTube, there's like a million videos of what you can do to make more money. You can grow that remaining money. So the third type of person has something remaining. The other two, it's another story, okay? But I really hope that you will get your finances in order this year. One last important thing that I need to mention is that a lot of people seem to also have this misconception that if I make more money, then I'll have a better financial situation. So if I get a better job and all of these things, and I'm not saying don't hope for more money, or don't work for more money. It's not a bad thing. However, more money will not automatically equal your finances being in order. So if you get a job, I don't know when you're watching this, whenever it is that you're watching this, if 2 months from now you get a better job with a higher salary, that is not going to automatically solve your financial problems. You cannot run away from the fact that you need to acknowledge your situation. You need to account where your money is going, how it's going there, why it's going there. You need to do these things. Whether or not you're earning 1,000 rands or 10,000 rands, it won't matter. People seem to think that more money will solve their problems, but not really. The saying goes, more money, more problems. And it's also a biblical concept, actually. To whom much is given, much is also expected. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that there's a lot more that goes with a lot more money, right? And you can't just automatically think that more money will help you better manage your finances. If you can't manage your finances with the little that you have, then there's no way. It's a principle. There's no way you're gonna manage. How are you gonna wake up one day and manage 10,000 rands or 100,000 rands when you couldn't even manage 1,000 rands? So whether it is an allowance that you're getting, maybe you're watching this video and you're like, I don't even have an income. I myself don't have an income. But whatever little is coming in, whether it's an allowance, whether it's from, you know, jobs here and there, you know, it's not a consistent income, even that, I can't even that, and you'll see it's going to make such a great difference. And when the big bucks start coming in, then you'll be better prepared to handle those big bucks. Let me just make a quick example. At work, you start at a junior level position and you need to manage the tasks given to you at that level, at that junior level position. You don't say to your boss, well, boss, you know what, I feel like if I was in a senior management position, I would better manage. No, if you can't manage the tasks there as an intern, then there's no way you can manage the tasks as a CFO, as a CEO. And that's exactly what I'm saying. If you can't manage your finances while they still, you know, what you might consider small, you won't manage them when they're big. So try and get a hold of your finances. Try get them in order. I wish you all the best. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer. As I said, I'm not an expert, but I'll try and assist where I can. And thank you so much for watching today's video. Until next time, love and light to you all. So I'm going to be speaking through 3 key points that I think will help you get your finances in order in the year 2022. Can you see that I might have missed my calling as a teacher? Actually, funny enough, my mom says that my videos are me teaching. So I don't know, that's all she gets from my videos. She's like, oh, kind of mistress, so yeah, maybe. That, okay, you know what, let me sit down and let me see what is exactly happening in my finances. And once you start saying, okay, every month I'm going to budget, I'm going to put in the actuals at the end of my at the end of the month as well, or maybe mid-month when all the actuals are